Hello there, this is me, the Otaku Bandito, and today I'm gonna show you my collection of stuff. Yeah, while my friend Chris Neon has been resting and recovering from his sickness and his headache, he almost had a seizure. Poor Chris Neon. I feel bad for the guy. Feel bad for my friend. I'd thought it would be great to show you my collection of iPods and iPads. Now keep in mind, this is not every single iPad and iPod that has been released. In fact, I've yet to come across an original first generation iPad. And yes, I'm going to collect one of those sometime. But this is just my collection of iPods and iPads that I have for now. And we're going to look at them in order from when they are made. And we'll start with the iPod Nano. Yeah, this is an iPod that I got from a yard sale, and I actually spent like $2 on it alongside the first generation iPod Touch, which I will show to you later. And of course, that meant I got a good deal on it. You can't beat that. $2 for 2 iPods. That pretty much sounds too good to be true, and that's because it really was. Yeah, it's a shame that it's pink though, but there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. It's got the click wheel. Once I get this charged up, I will show it to you and show you how it functions. So, let's charge the iPod Nano up and see how it works. Before I show you all how it functions, I'm going to show you the charging port that you use to charge it. You see, this is one of the earliest Apple devices, but not the first to use the Apple 30-pin connector. This would become a standard on all subsequent Apple devices later on. And also I got this Apple mug to complement my collection of iPods. Good old apple cinnamon tea. You can't beat it. Let's start with the oldest iPod that I currently have in my collection, the iPod Mini. And I erroneously refer to it as an iPod Nano. It's not a Nano because, well, Nano is taller. This is an iPod Mini, and of course it was introduced in 2004. And like I said, it's one of the earliest devices to use the Apple 30-pin connector. Yeah, it's a pretty sleek-looking iPod. It's got some rounded curves there. And it still works to this day. And of course, it has a pretty primitive screen. After all, this was a low-cost iPod. This was a lower-cost option to the more expensive iPods. Let's go into extras because, well, there are some games built into this device. Yeah, you got Music Quiz, Parachute, and Solitaire. Well, let's take a look at Parachute. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. I believe you're supposed to actually shoot the guys. Whoops. Yeah, well, I can't get the gist of this game. Are you supposed to rescue them? Let's see, oh wait, you're actually supposed to shoot the guys, but for some reason the pellets or the things that you fire at the guys, they don't show up. It's because it's an old screen. I mean, well, it's a simple, primitive screen. And there can be some ghosting. Yeah. This screen wasn't actually designed for games like these. So I actually figured out you are supposed to hit them. Yeah, you're actually trying to hit the guys. Yeah, that's a reference to Nightmare Before Christmas. I did my best. Anyways, let's move on to Brick, because this is a more interesting game. And you want to know why? It's actually sort of reminiscent of Steve Jobs' early days at Atari, as it's a breakout kind of game. Again, the ghosting is kind of hard to tell where the ball is. This device was mainly made for music and podcasts. Yeah, very reminiscent of Steve Jobs' early days at Atari. Oh look, we almost got him. Let's see if we can clear the row. Oh, it's going pretty fast. Yeah, the thing about the iPod Nano screen is that you can't tell how fast the projectiles are moving, which makes it pretty difficult. Oh well, we almost got him. Yeah, it won't be an iPod review without having to test the music capabilities. So, let's put in a public domain song by Technoax and see how it sounds. Alright, let's plug this iPod into the PC speakers and let it roar. Alright, should select the music. Yeah, we're gonna play Technoax. It doesn't actually show it there. No worries. We're actually gonna play Technoax. It says 10 seconds rush. Well, because I want to avoid any content ID and copyright claims. Well, it works. Oh yeah! This is definitely a great song. I've used this song several times in my videos. Let's turn up the volume. Yeah, there's something wrong with the PC speakers, but don't worry. That's due to age. Speakers are old after all. So yeah, it does play music. And that should be enough. Alright, let's move on to the next iPod in my collection. The iPod Classic, also known as the iPod Video. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that the iPod is originally called D. Yeah, that's what the previous owner named it, and of course it had some bubblegum pop music and country music. So yeah, whoever owned this iPod obviously liked to listen to some pop and country music. Well, I'm not into those kind of music. I'm more of like a rock and roll and heavy metal kind of guy. Anyways, let's move on to the iPod Video, and guess what? We don't need to charge this one up because it was already charged up. Yeah. And of course, the whole selling point of this iPod is that you could watch movies on the go. Yeah, long before almost everyone on the planet watched movies on their smartphones and tablets. Yeah, it was a great device to watch movies on, and back in the day you could rent movies. Well, we don't have any rentals on there. And you could even watch TV shows on there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, let's test out the music capabilities. Because, well, you can't have an iPod without testing out the music. Alright, since this iPod is already charged up and ready to go, let's test out some music. Let's go into music. Let's plug it in. Yeah, and we're going to listen to Daiki Kasho's Place in This World from Gran Turismo 6 on the PlayStation 3. I hope I don't get content ID for this song. I probably won't, since the song isn't even on YouTube, and I bet you barely hear anything about Daiki Kasho nowadays. Might be pronouncing the band's name wrong, but let's let it rip. Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Searching every day to find my I can't seem to remember.
Again, I hope I don't get content ID for this song.
Fighting every day to find my place. I am starting to lose control.
And the cool thing is that it can still play music even when the screen is turned on. That's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty cool. Trying to seek the meaning from
And it could play your Daiki Kasho songs.
I can't seem to forget
if you
what
still
I have found
own an iPod to be able to listen to.
hoping to find my existence. I'm on the brink of losing hope. I've had it up to here. Everything is turning wild.
You did a pretty great job on the song. It is a great song. You've made a lot of great songs for some of the best racing games out there. Especially the Sonic 64. You guys did pretty great. Alright, that should be enough of that. Oops. Yeah, you can also use the click wheel to, whoops. You can also use the click wheel to adjust volume, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's test out a game because, well, whoops, wrong menu. Let's test out a game because, believe it or not, it does have games. But this time it's not listed under extras. It's listed under games, and it's got 3 games. Yeah, it's got iPod, Quiz, Klondike, which is pretty much a card game, and Vortex, which is a pretty interesting game. Yeah, it's made by Apple Incorporated. Whoa there, that's pretty loud volume. Pretty cool music, eh? Yeah, so it's sort of like a 3D version of Arkanoid. Yeah, it's got more advanced 3D graphics. Yeah, this is a pretty novel concept to play a game on an iPod. Because iPods are usually meant for music. And you can actually see what's going on, because it doesn't have ghosting. Yeah, a big step up from the iPod video. Whoops. Yeah, it uses the click wheel to control the bats. Sometimes it can be iffy. It's still a pretty fun game. Yeah, you can get the hang of it. Oops. As long as you get the hang of it, it's pretty cool. If you got an iPod, definitely play this game. It's pretty unique. And take some practice. Let's go back. Abandon game. Because you don't want to save it, really. Alright. The cool thing about this iPod is that you can actually watch movies. Let's watch a video before the battery dies on us. Movies. House on Haunted Hill. Let's skip this. Oh. Yeah, I actually tested this iPod before in another video to watch this movie. It's public domain and you can use it any time without having to get content ID. We'll only ever watch the part where Vincent Price himself first appears. Hopefully this will be enough to do before the battery runs out. Hopefully this will do before the battery runs out.
May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard.
Yeah, there's...
In
what's his
just a minute,
name?
I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house.
Oh, look.
I've only spent
Pretty
one
good
night
movie.
there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
Oh, look.
I'm Frederick
There's
Lawrence.
Vincent Price.
And I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can
Such a
give a
great
party.
actor.
A haunted house party.
He also appeared on the
She's so
as a
amusing.
guest on the Muppet Show.
There'll be food,
So sad
drink,
that he passed
and
away.
ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing. Her sense of humor is, shall we say, original. I dreamed up the hearse. It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows?
You've seen this before if you've pretty much
This is Lance Schroeder,
if
a
you've
test
pretty much
pilot.
watched my
So
previous
no doubt
video
a
about
brave
comparing modern
man.
video players.
But don't you think you can be much braver if you're paid for it?
Back then, you could
And I
get like
happen
the
to know
latest
that Lance needs
blockbuster
the
movies
$10,000 I'll give him.
on the
If
iPod,
he's
and you
brave
can
enough
rent
to stay
movies,
all night.
as
This is
mentioned
Ruth
before.
Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspaper.
But nowadays, you can't
She
get
says her reason for
movies
coming
on
to
the
the
iPod
party is to
anymore
write a feature article on
because,
ghosts.
well,
She's also desperate for money.
it's all about
Gamble.
iPads, and iPhones, and iPod
You've already
Touches,
met Watson
and all
Pritchard,
these smartphones
a man living
that
in mortal fear of a
new
house, and yet
kids
he
on
is
the block
risking his
have.
life to spend another night here.
And no, I'm
I
not
wonder
talking about
why.
the New Kids on the Block, the
He
band.
says for money.
Talking about all those hipsters,
This is Dr. David
like the
Trent,
hip
a
and cool
psychiatrist.
kids.
He
Anyways,
claims that my ghost will help
let's
his
move
work
on
hysteria.
to the
Don't
iPod
you see a
Touch,
little touch
the
of greed
first
there
ever
around the mouth and eyes?
iPod to have a touch
This is
screen.
Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me. But
Next up is the first generation iPod Touch. I got this in the yard sale alongside the iPod Mini for a couple of bucks, as mentioned previously. This, alongside the first generation iPhone, marked a new era in touchscreen devices and a new beginning for modern day smartphones and tablets. This was the first of the lineage. Yeah. You didn't need like a stylus to use the touchscreen. You would just go like this. That's pretty cool. And best part is that despite being an older iPod Touch, you could still use the App Store. Granted, you have to download apps from the desktop computer because it's an old device, and this thing is so old that it doesn't even support the App Store anymore. However, if you got this device back in the day, you would have used like several great apps from the App Store. But before that came web-based applications from Safari. Alright, let's go search something on Safari real quick so we can demonstrate the internet capabilities of the first generation iPod Touch. Alright, what should we search? Oh, I know. The iMac G3. Let's search that. Yeah, the iMac G3 was the computer that helped save Apple. And Johnny Ive, did a good job on it. Well, he did a good job on designing it. It's very nice. Yeah. Let's see if you can watch YouTube videos on this thing. Well, it loaded, but the thing's so old that there's an error, and you can't exactly watch YouTube on it nowadays, which is unfortunate. And I also used to watch videos on a YouTube app. Well, you can't connect to it anymore, unfortunately, but it was pretty cool. I used to use it back in the day. And it was the built-in Apple app. Before that, before Google will buy YouTube completely, and of course, YouTube will become a separate application. Of course, there's a calculator. It's 2 plus 2. Yeah, it's 4. That's obvious. Yeah, and there's also good old Apple Maps. Oh wait, it's Google Maps. Yeah, this was before Apple Maps. God, I miss these days. And I especially miss the old iOS. Alright, let's get this thing hooked up and let's demonstrate some apps. And let's put some music, let's listen to some music on there. Because just like the older iPods, it doesn't really have a built-in speaker. And whenever you put it into the charging port, we'll get like that beep, because it doesn't really have a built-in speaker. Let's listen to some music and play some apps. Well, I tried, and I even stayed up half the night, but I went nowhere. Yeah, you see, the problem with this device and trying to get apps onto it is that, well, it's a very old device, and of course, it's not compatible with many apps. And of course, another thing I have to mention is, well, when you try to sign into your Apple account, you have to have the two-step verification, but this device doesn't support that. And Apple no longer allows you to remove the two-step verification. Turn the two-step verification off. I suppose they did that as an added security measure so that people wouldn't hack into their accounts and tamper with them. Yeah, so the only way to turn off two-step verification is to actually contact Apple themselves, and in case you're wondering, no, it's not worth the trouble to contact them to turn off two-step verification just to install an app on an old device like this, so I felt that it's not worth the effort. But I have put a video on there. It's not the full trailer, because I did use a free trial of the program. Yeah, it's only there for demonstration purposes. It will be deleted later. I hope it doesn't go under Content ID. It's the Biotical Toa Mystica trailer.
Entering the treacherous swamp of Cardanui, the Toa must be prepared for anything. Makuta has mutated into terrifying giant insects, forever on the hunt.
Yeah, it plays video pretty well.
And knowledge to stay alive. Alone, the Toa soon becomes the prey. Even heroes need backup.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, just like the older iPods, this iPod Touch doesn't use the built-in speaker. So just like the older iPods, you have to plug in an external speaker, whether it be like the connector or the headphone jack. And yeah, this device has what even the newest iPhones don't have: a headphone jack. So yeah, it plays video pretty well, but what about music? Let's plug it back in. Let's plug it back in. Ugh, I have trouble talking today. Let's play some music. Alright. We don't want to get content ID, so let's play Face Me. Oh, and another thing I miss is a cover flow. I hope this doesn't go under content ID. I don't think it will because, Flash doesn't care about that. Because it was made for radio. Anyways, I'm not here to pirate music, I'm just here to demonstrate the sound. It's a good song. Love the cover flow. And the song was made the same year as this device, so it fits in pretty well. That'll be enough of that. Oh, and I want to show you the cover flow. You see, this is something that Apple has been killing off, and I most definitely miss it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature, and it definitely works well with the touchscreen. Oh, I miss the cover flow. So yeah, the iPod Touch, you can't do much with it, the first generation. You can use it to listen to music and look up things online, but that's just about it though. But it makes a great collector's piece, because, well, it's the first of its kind. Aside from that, there's not much you can do with it. Anyways, on to the next model of iPod. The next model of iPod Touch that I have in my collection. The second generation.